Welcome to Stories Between Us, a podcast of short, fictional stories about the lives, tension, and intimacy between queer men. These episodes are for mature audiences and may include explicit themes. Told through AI voice narration, each episode drops you into a moment, a glance, a decision, a connection that lingers. Stories that feel real, sometimes sexy, sometimes messy, and always rooted in what's felt, even when it's never said. If you haven't heard the previous episode in the series, we recommend starting there. This story follows Jarvis, a quiet neighbor who stumbles onto a campsite one night and recognizes the masked performer on screen, Terry, the married man who lives next door. What begins as anonymous watching turns into something much more dangerous when Terry invites him over in secret. This episode picks up days later as tension simmers beneath the surface and Claire, Terry's wife and head of the neighborhood association, unknowingly pulls them all closer together. Before the cupcakes, before the block party, before the folding chairs in the garage and the kiss in the hallway, there was a moment in the dark when Jarvis almost crossed the line. It started weeks earlier, during a late-night scroll through a site he rarely admitted to using. Private browser, volume low. Just background noise for a restless body and a quiet urge. Until he saw the man on screen, shirtless, masked, lips parted just enough to catch the glow of the ring light. There was something about the shoulders, the jaw, the way he moved. Familiar. Too familiar. It was Terry, the man next door. By day, Terry walked his pit bull in a fitted tee and cologne that clung to the mailbox. Always polite. Married. Safe. By night, he logged onto a campsite, faceless and bold, performing for strangers. Jarvis had watched silently at first, then tipped, then lingered too long. Until one night the message came through. Come. Over. Now Jarvis had crossed the lawn without thinking. Walked into Terry's house like he'd done it before. And maybe in some ways he had. In fantasy, in imagination, in the thousand ways desire rehearses itself before it becomes real. They didn't speak, didn't need to. Until headlights flashed through the blinds, until keys jingled at the front door, until Claire, Terry's wife and the president of the neighborhood association, called out from the driveway. Light and casual, like everything was. Exactly how it should be. Jarvis had slipped out the back door before she walked in. That was days ago. Now, tonight, Terry is online again. No words, no build-up. Just a quick, focused session. The kind of show that feels less like seduction and more like a release. Jarvis doesn't even touch himself this time. Just watches. Eyes locked. Remembering the way Terry had looked at him not through the screen, but up close, in the doorway, bare-chested, breathless, daring him to stay. The screen cuts off clean. The next morning, there's a knock at Jarvis's door. It's Claire. She's holding a tray of cupcakes, red velvet, homemade, each one frosted to perfection and topped with a little paper flag that reads, Happy Block Party. She's bright, smiling, wrapped in early morning sunshine and Lululemon. Her hair pulled back, her lip gloss set, her scent a clean mix of lemon lotion and fresh laundry. She speaks like someone used to running things, The kind of woman who doesn't wait for agreement, just assumes it. She mentions the neighborhood event next weekend, says they could really use more hands this year, says Jarvis has a calm vibe she likes, says Thursday would be a great day to help with planning. And just before she leaves, she tosses it in like a casual afterthought. Terry will be home too. Says the two of them should get to know each other better. Jarvis closes the door with the tray still in his hands, the smell of frosting and citrus hanging in the air. Thursday arrives with little fanfare. The inside of Terry and Claire's home is soft, curated, and just the right kind of lived in. Neutral tones, framed engagement photos, a candle burning near the sink, eucalyptus and mint. Claire is already mid-motion when Jarvis walks in, balancing her laptop in one hand and a clipboard in the other, music playing low on a smart speaker. Her presence fills the space, warm, efficient, sharp. Then Terry enters. No mask this time, no ring light, just a t-shirt damp from a workout, athletic shorts hanging low on his hips, and that scent, expensive cologne softened by weed and sweat. He gives Jarvis a nod that's almost nothing, and somehow, everything. Claire assigns them to the garage, folding chairs, supply bins, small tasks that feel enormous once the door closes behind them. The garage is hot, the air still. It smells like mulch and motor oil. Plastic bins stacked with holiday decorations and old gym equipment. They don't speak. They move around each other with the kind of silence that buzzes, that hums just beneath the skin. When Terry reaches across him to grab a folding table, their arms touch. Jarvis doesn't flinch. Neither does he. 2 days later, the block party hits full volume. There are coolers packed with beer, kids running barefoot across sidewalks, grills going, music blasting from somebody's Bluetooth speaker duct taped to a tree. The street feels like it belongs to someone else. Loud, chaotic, sticky with heat and sweet barbecue smoke. Claire moves through it all like a campaign ad, hugging neighbors, reassigning tasks, fixing decorations with one hand while waving with the other. Her dress is fitted, her hair smooth, her smile polished. She doesn't miss a beat. Jarvis tries to stay useful, grabs trash bags, refills the utensils, pretends to text when Terry walks by. There's no eye contact, not at first. Then a glance across the drinks table. Then another glace at each other near the speaker. Then a moment in passing. A whisper, low enough to feel, not here. Front door's unlocked, says Terry as he walks by. Jarvis doesn't move right away. He waits, watches, times it just right. Claire is deep in conversation with two neighbors about recycling bins. Someone's asking her to check the raffle tickets. Jarvis slips away at this moment. Inside Terry's house, it's cooler, quieter. The kitchen smells like the inside of someone else's shirt. That mix of skin and detergent and something unspoken. Terry stands at the counter, shirtless. 2 open beers. One is already sweating. There's no rush this time. They stand there for a second too long, both of them pretending this is a decision. Terry says it's not that serious. Says the cam stuff is just fun. Says Claire doesn't need to know. Says some things just don't have to mean anything. Jarvis doesn't answer. Not with words. They move closer. Hands, then lips. Shirts falling away. Heat rising. They make it to the hallway before the kiss deepens. Terry's hand pressing against Jarvis's lower back. Jarvis's lips trailing along his neck. The kind of kiss that feels earned. That remembers. That knows better and leans in anyway. And then the doorbell. They freeze. Jarvis's hand is still on Terry's waist. Breath caught in his throat. Then Claire's voice. Just outside. Calling Terry's name. Says she's looking for Jarvis. Says someone told her he might have come inside. She says she needs his signature. Jarvis doesn't move. Terry stays still. Then come the keys. The jingle. The shift in the doorknob. The slow sound of it unlocking. And that's where it happens. Thank you for listening to Stories Between Us, a podcast about queer male connection, tension, and everything that gets felt, but not always said.